are you willing to get rid of this garbage that you believe in, whether it's your religion, your political views, or anything like that? Are you willing to get rid of it because it's not working out? Like years ago with with the COVID thing and all that, the virus. I predicted that years before it happened. And now things like the perfection of what Hollywood is in our mind's eye, those are falling apart. Same thing you'll see in the future, like churches and religious factors and so on start to fall apart, right? But back to Johnny Depp. So this is really a great opportunity for one. Hollywood is not perfect. You become an actor, actress, and you think your life is got it made. It actually magnifies all the garbage that you have inside. You just, create a beautiful facade around it. And you can see it with Will Smith, and their relationship, right? Perfect relationship on the outside, but obviously people are going, God, it's not that great. So with Johnny Depp, he's one of millions of guys that run this super nice guy attitude. Unfortunately, I've been one of them where you're just a super nice guy, and you attract women that need help like Amber. So just reading Johnny, he's been abused, and again, I'm just reading him. I don't read, I don't do anything like that. But Johnny, he's been abused by his mom. He's been enslaved literally by his mom, from what I'm seeing. So that pattern of being, say, recognized by a feminine person that say dominates him. So he has to be dominated by a female. So that's his pattern that has to run all the time. Okay? And obviously, I can help Johnny with that. I wouldn't want to touch Amber; she's just too messed up. But with Johnny, so that's the pattern. So any relationship that he has will have some sort of, say, flavor to that, no matter what it is. Feminine domination. Okay, and it doesn't have to be a woman, by the way. It could be a guy that runs a feminine pattern that will dominate him. So I'm just sensing that his maybe previous manager was like that as well, whether it's a guy or a girl, that would have dominated him in another way as well, not making him feel good or not making him feel who he really is on, say, the screen. Right? Johnny Depp, I don't know how old he is, but he's a very young child on the inside, a very hurt child of, say, I want to say 16 to 18, and and many people, before all this garbage came out, many people go, God, I love Johnny. I love his, say, child or youthful, pattern, that attractiveness. And that comes just from, say, an abuse pattern. He's literally, even to this day, he is of a 16, 17-year-old boy trying to find a woman that can actually go, hey, Johnny, you know what? It's okay. You can be vulnerable with me and you can heal. But he won't find that because of the pattern that I just said. So Amber, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 personalities, four main personalities, and then one vicious personality that comes in and out. So it's like one personality is probably the personality that Johnny fell in love with. And then that's that, say, enticement personality, oh, loving, caring, funny, and so on like that. Again, that's just a ploy. That's just literally like a lure that Amber uses. So depending on who you are, what happens, nighttime or dusk, it's kind of weird. But her personalities change. Like they literally take shifts. So if you're with Amber all day long, from when it starts to get sunset, so to speak, you'll see her change into another personality. It's like, hey, I'm punching out, this other personality punches in, and her demeanor changes. It's almost like her facial structure changes from night to day, right? Women have victimized men all along, but men, because of their manliness, I guess, would never admit that a woman, beat them up, a woman destroyed their lives, They're supposed to be that white knight in shining armor. Men just won't show up and go, yeah, I was abused by my wife. I got beat up by my wife because one, it doesn't look cool. It doesn't look like you're a manly person, but in reality, you just like care for that woman so much. It's like, yeah, I'll be your floor mat. In fact, I did a Moss on Sunday, where I explain life, life explained. And I was talking about, like Johnny Depp and so on. And I go, and I didn't mean it as a frivolous deal. I go, oh, why don't they show court cases of Jeffrey Epstein? Those are like more higher profile, or like all these political leaders, that are getting into trouble and stuff like that. But, like frivolous, like Hollywood stuff, right? Not the serious stuff. Why don't they show more of that? And then I had actually a couple of my friends. It's like, that wasn't frivolous. That was my life. I was abused by my wife and I could never share it with anybody. So, and they were actually hurt by, when I said, God, that was really frivolous. I'm going, and then they shared the story that I'm not going to get into, but it's like, my wife used to beat me, my wives used to beat me up. My mom used to beat me up and so on like that. So it's more rampant than many people think, but where do men go? Especially nowadays, with the women's movements, the Me Too movement, men are the bad guys again, right? And who's gonna listen to a man that goes, hey, you know what, I've been abused. It's like, well, shit, you're not a man, you're not this, and many men don't do that, right? Won't say it just because of that. There's even men that have been, say, raped, so to speak, but then you'd never consider a man being raped, right? Men just don't like to have sex with that certain person. But if you say that to a woman, what do they do? Right? It's like, hey, I'm not sexy enough, I'm not this and that, and they literally will, get forced or forced raped, which is kind of crazy. So those are all the things that are actually, like, say, gonna be coming up, and this is the beginning of it. More and more men are going to be awakening to the fact that it's like, God, that's straight out abuse. It's not a white knight in shining armor anymore. With each evolution of societies. This thing that we're talking about probably has happened in societies or in cultures over and over again. But this time, what's happening, the difference is that society is going to the next level of evolution. These things have to be, say, handled or taken care of. Okay. And it's like, hey guys, if you want to go to the next level of awareness and consciousness and be a more congruent or synergistic society, you have to get rid of these problems. You can't carry these forward. Just like you do, the 18-day hyper meditations with me. You might not do it at a societal level, but you do it at a personal level, right? It's like, if you want to go to that next level, you got to take care of this and this and this and this, all those habits. Same thing with a culture. But if you don't, and this is the pivotal point, and this is where, we can talk about, like, technological singularity, Ray Kurzweil's deal, where you get to a point where society stops to hold on to its technological understanding, basically. Technology rises beyond, say, the consciousness of man, or its ability to hold on to that technological advancement. And this is where cultures just, like, collapse and just die and disappear. Some of the other cultures back in the day, they've just, like, disappeared. So this is our opportunity to, say, awaken and resolve the problem, or we can just bury it and then disappear as a culture, and then a new society will generate it. I watched Alexander, the movie Alexander. That's just what they would do. Literally, that's just like the norm. Now it's not the norm because we've awakened and you go, shit, that's not right. That is not right. you know so we're just waking to the fact that it's not right. So we have a chance. Do we want to hold on to that? And again, there's always a consequence on what you do, and it's not to your expectations. There's certain laws of physics, xi physics, that I call. So if you do choose as a society to hold on to it, the most natural next step is the society will die, perish, literally just perish. You might go, well, we're too big to perish. No, you're not. It's happened before. Rome has perished. China has perished. All the big cultures, societies, just boom, they perish with a disease or something like that. And then 10,000 years later, a new civilization rises up. Or what we could do this time, and that's why we're more sensitive, we're in tune, or that's why XI is around. It's like, hey, you know what? This is a lot of bullshit. We need real solutions, real answers that resolve the problem, not just put a band-aid on it. And then we can move into a higher level of consciousness where we can, see ourselves as humans, a human being a man, a human being a woman, and we have that respect not by culture, not by race, not by color, not by religion or anything, but just humans having those types of experience, and it's all beautiful. So that's the society that we could have, and that's the society that is, if we all talk about the society that I just said, right? If you want that society, you have to get rid of this bullshit here. Are you willing to get rid of this garbage that you believe in, whether it's your religion, your political views, or anything like that? Are you willing to get rid of it because it's not working out? If it was, you would see actual physical results. But no one can tell me their religions, their political values, or anything like that is working. Because if it did, we would have better results, but it's not working out. You have to transform to another level of consciousness here. So that's what society, and it's free will. If you don't go towards this way, you just perish. It's not just Johnny Depp and his marriage, it's about all the men that have been abused that way. That's the problem, not just Johnny's problem. And it's not really having the courage, but it's just like, it's okay. She's a woman. She can do that. God, women, it's not okay for you to do that to any man.